We have a really quality above ground pool. Just kidding. It's pretty cheap. Bought it for 500 bucks. Gets a lot of use. Our family loves it. It has a really kind of cheap pump with filters. And these things are really kind of cheaply made. It has a very cheap mechanism inside of it, very plastic. And before you get the urge to just throw it out, you can take it apart and fix it. This is sounding pretty good right now. It's running really well. It's got 2 intakes in it. Sorry for the stuff floating on the top, but it's got 2 intakes, and here is the outtake, or whatever that's called. See if you can hear that. It's supposed to just sound like this. It's not going to ever be perfectly silent, but this is pretty good. Before that, it was making a grinding noise, and yours might be too, or it might not even be turning around at all. And I'll show you how to take it apart and clean it out, and also to conserve money on buying filters. So before you do anything, you want to turn this off. So you're going to come over to here, and you can just turn it off by hitting this test button, and it'll shut it off. And then you're going to walk back over to your pool, and you're going to pull these guys out. See if I can do it with one hand. Okay, put those off to the side, and then you're going to take, you should get 3 of these with your pool, and you're going to put these in. If you don't have these, try to find some other way to stop it up, but that's what it'll look like. So you're going to do that with all 3 of these inlets and outlets, and then that will make it so you can disconnect this guy. So I have those plugs in, all these outlets and inlets. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take this off. I'm just going to pull this off, just twist it around. Just like that. Water will come out, that's okay. You're going to take this one off, just rotate it around until it pops off, and then the chambers will just empty. And then you're going to take this, and just like when you're changing your filter, you're going to take this off. I usually loosen this a little bit. Then you're going to take this off, but I'm not going to show this because I can't do it with one hand. But I'll show it. I'm going to take this into my shop and show you what it looks like. All right, so I got this kind of drained out. Got this loosened just so I could show it. I loosened it with both hands before the video started. And you're gonna unscrew this and take this top off. This is part of the problem. That looks pretty bad. This will cause a lot of issues. So you're going to want to change this out. We went off on vacation, and I think someone forgot to change out the filter. Maybe me. But it's completely filled. So it was probably just trying to suck too much through. But it was making kind of a grinding noise too. So I'm going to show you how to take this apart and fix some of the grinding kind of issues. So when you have a really gross filter like this, but it's fairly new, instead of just throwing it away, sometimes I'll fill up a bucket with either OxyClean for this, or some regular bleach, and I'll put it in there and I'll soak the filter. If it's a fairly new one, if it's really old, then just buy some replacement ones. So I'll just take that OxyClean and I'll fill up a bucket, and then I'll just dunk these and let them soak for a couple hours. This one, I found I had another one that was looking pretty dingy, and I'm letting this one soak. This one's gotten, it wasn't quite as gray as this, but this one has gotten a lot lighter. Looks like some stuff in it though. I don't know whether we're gonna save this one or not. You gotta make some decisions whether you want to be cheap and save money on filters or just buy new ones. Sometimes it's worth your time just to buy some new ones. In my case, I have a couple things I want to replace, so I figure, well, might as well just see how it goes. Plus I can show you how to save money. Okay, so once you get that filter out of there, there's not much to these pumps. There is the motor on the bottom here, which is electric, so you want to be unplugged whenever you're working on this stuff. You're going to unscrew these screws here, and then you're also going to take this little collar. See if I can do it with one hand. It's on there pretty good. Let me see if I can. Okay, so I got it started with, once I could put the phone down, and you're going to have this collar that comes off. All right, so that's going to make that part free. And as soon as you unscrew the screws on the bottom, it's just a Phillips, kind of a medium Phillips screwdriver. You're going to unscrew these. I got these started with Video Magic, just to make it go a little easier with one hand, but it might take a little bit more work than just what I just did. So you're going to pull this up, straight up, and then it should come out like that. Then you want to get this little collar, this little washer off of there. And now you're looking at the pump motor. This part is just kind of the shroud that holds the filter and everything, so you don't have to worry about that while you're working on this. But so just so you know, this is the motor right here. There's a shaft right here, and it's in order to be waterproof, it has a magnetic shaft that is activated once electric goes through the plastic. So I'll show you what you need to do next so you can understand this part. Okay, once again, I got this collar right here. I got this loosened so I could do this with one hand, but it might take two hands, or it might even take channel locks or some other tool. But try not to use tools if you can. If it's better to just hand tighten some of this stuff. You're going to take that collar off, and then this part, when I first got it, I took an old chisel and I just pried a little bit just to loosen and get the seal broken, the suction seal, and then you're just going to pull this up, and there is the shaft of the pump mechanism. And then when you look inside of here, here is the impeller. This is the part that pulls water in and moves it. So it's just a little plastic piece. It's kind of cheap and crappy. And this is a magnetic shaft, motor shaft, because this inside of here is, I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can get in the light here a little bit more. It's just a plastic encased. There's nothing. There's just a bottom part that has a, like where the bearing would be on the bottom of it. It's just like a little hole down there. You don't have to. There's nothing like you have to worry about getting wet in there. This is supposed to be submerged, so it's safe to have this shaft out of here. And what I would do is just run your hands around it and feel for parts that might be kind of rough or down there. I mean, this part will come out like this, okay? And it has some washers, some rubber washers on it. There might be a washer down there. Depending on different versions of this pump, there might be some washers down there, but you might want to buy some more of these rubber washers. It won't hurt. Just take this shaft into a hardware store and buy several of these. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to put this shaft in here. I keep calling this the shaft too. This is a rotor. What is making this go around are there on the other side of this plastic is probably copper windings, and when it's electrified, it will make the magnetic aspect of this rotor spin in the direction that the polarity of the windings. So you're going to put that in there, and it'll just pop right down on there because it'll actually pull right out of your hands because of the magnetism of it. And then you're going to take this impeller and you're going to put this down like that. Okay? See, like that? You're going to put that down. Okay? And then you're going to put this little rubber washer here. Okay? And then this piece will then fit down on the other side of that shaft, and you can push it down, and then you can screw this back on. But what I would say is you want to check, you want to run this through several times. You want to make sure that this is spinning. You want to get that all assembled and then hit the power on that pump even while it's dry. You can run this dry. You don't want to run it for lengthy periods of time, but you can run it dry just to check it. And you want to make sure that the rotor is spinning in there. And if it's making lots of noise, it might be because you need a few more of the rubber washers on either side of it. It just helps it to keep the plastic from kind of hitting up against the side and up on the top. It just keeps it from moving around like that, and it helps it flow better, helps it go around better. And then you're gonna take that and you're gonna just do the reverse process on this, and you're gonna put that through there, and you're gonna put these up against for the screw posts. You're gonna screw those in, and then you're gonna take this collar on this side and you're gonna screw that back on. Once again, I'm doing this with one hand, so I apologize. But you know, if things aren't working, then you need to keep you know, filing things down if there's bits of plastic that are kind of just sticking out and grinding on other parts of plastic. And that should fix most of this, so you don't have to keep buying new ones. So eventually, sometimes these will burn out, especially if it's caught up on something and it can't spin. It'll just keep, it doesn't have any kind of safety guard on that, so it'll have it'll just get hot and burn out. And that's when you need to buy a new one, because I wouldn't advise trying to change out the motor on these.